Thanks so much, Hannah. Well, hey, online, it can be tough for anyone to discern between what's real and what is misinformation. With children spending more time on the internet, it's more important than ever for parents to have that conversation. Dr. Holly McKenna with Dara Wellness joins us now to talk more about this. And I think this is an important topic for kids and adults, but how can families help their children kind of navigate this world where there's so much that they can see with their eyes that isn't true?
You know, it's really about recognizing that unfortunately a lot of what's coming at us is for the response and the reaction versus actually giving us true information.
Sure.
And as families, we need to focus on what we can be asking ourselves and asking each other to discriminate between truth and not truth.
And you know, like we said, this is for everyone, but kids may be finding themselves just starting to watch videos on the internet and things like that. They may not know that things can be lies there. How do you have this conversation with your kids?
Well, I think it's very age determined. You know, it depends on what age they are. For littles, it's going to be more about feelings and letting them know that what you're looking at on your iPad or maybe over mommy's shoulder on the phone is for entertainment, and it's about feelings, and little ones are still identifying feelings and figuring out what those are. So talking about how does that make you feel? Is there an icky feeling or kind of a yucky or nervous feeling? That's when you go get your grown-up and maybe ask them about it and have them take a look so you can have that discussion.
Sure.
And then as kids get older, you get more into that critical thinking and looking at who made the content, why did they make the content, and what, again, like what feelings does it bring up in you, and what to do with that. I mean, it's really, you do have to kind of take a pause and analyze it in order to figure out, is this something that is reliable and something I can trust, or is it just something that's looking for a reaction from me?
And it's also, you know, you can always come to mom or dad.
100%.
You can always go to a trusted adult and ask them to take a look with you and help you kind of digest that information, making sure that they know that that trust is there.
Yes, yes.
In middle school, junior high, can we just push it back forever? But social media eventually enters the picture for our kids. How does that change the landscape? It's not just Google or, you know, YouTube videos, but now it's interacting with your friends or your family.
Right. So, you know, I tried to keep phone away from my daughter as long as I could, but then once she entered junior high, you know, I need to know where she is.
Sure.
So, but even then, her younger brother might be looking over her shoulder, and even before she had a phone, looking over her friends' shoulders. So you really do, whether or not your kid has a phone, you need to have that discussion about algorithms and about how that is created to give you a response and a reaction, and it creates a bubble. So what you're looking at is really for entertainment. It's really to get you to look at it more versus actually giving you factual information. I mean, we talk about how, oh, I'm so glad there wasn't social media when I was a kid during Mardi Gras because, woo, I was having all the fun. Really, I'm glad there wasn't social media when I was a kid because in middle school, high school, I was learning how to have conversations with people who had different points of view and figure out what my points of view and values were. Kids aren't given that because
no, they're being told what the views are.
Right, and the algorithm is reinforcing things that maybe their young brains aren't really sure they really believe yet, but it's kind of telling them things that are true that are really just entertainment.
But at every age, keeping those lines of communication open is really the best way to kind of combat this disinformation.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Dr. Holly. Always have the best advice.